I love this work, and I love actors. I truly do. One of the most fulfilling aspects to me is just seeing the change and the growth happen right there in front of my very eyes. Strong choices can elevate a scene quickly, and one thing sometimes can click everything into place. I remember sitting in the back of my own acting class when I was a younger actor, sometimes until 1 in the morning, just watching my teacher work with other actors. And they'd be going over and over a scene and it just wasn't working. And then suddenly my teacher would offer just a simple action to take. And in an instant, the entire scene just came alive. It was like watching magic. So I do this work to find that magic. I was inspired to direct some scenes of my own in that acting class just to dig into that experience and the process myself. Working on scripted material is like a fun, glorious puzzle to me. There's some detective work, there's playing with different ideas, discovering what works best. We get to play in the world of the written words and then bring the actor's version to life. My focus is about making strong choices with material so that you aren't acting, but rather actively doing and living the given circumstances. It takes the burden of acting off your shoulders and puts you in the moment in the most interesting, fascinating, and truly human ways. I'll often say, put the onus on the other person. Meaning, focus on what you want from them, from that other person in the scene, how you're going to get it. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say next, what you're going to do next. Be with that person, whether literal or imagined, and then react accordingly. Let their words or actions or facial expressions drive your next moment. When you're actively doing something in a scene or trying to achieve something, that scene comes alive. Words, they're just ink on paper. An actor has to live the experience, and the words come along for the ride. We will work on objectives and motivations, active strategies to achieve those objectives, stakes. So we're talking about, who are you talking to? What do you want from them? What happens if you don't get it from them? And we will make those choices as clear and as specific as possible. I had an acting teacher in New York who would often quote Stanislavski, who said, "Generality is the enemy of all art." So if your focus is on getting something important from the other person and trying various, very specific, different ways to get it, you don't have to worry about acting. You just do. This work can help you translate unhelpful direction given to you by directors or casting directors so that you're not playing the direction, but you're instead living out the action as they visualize it. And even when the direction you're given is clear and helpful, you have to be ready to pivot to what they're asking for. You can't be so steadfast in your choices that you can only perform it one way. So you will have the tools to make those adjustments. Also, sometimes the audition reader or your partner gives you absolutely nothing to work with. Or you're self-taping with somebody at home who's not an actor and they're reading the other lines. Well, this work makes that essentially insignificant, as you've already made strong choices that feed you. So those choices don't just go away because the other person is flat. Now, I always come from a place of kindness and compassion. This process can be challenging, but it should be fun. There's detective work and exploration, and there are often many moments of gold, whether they happen organically or through your conscious imagination from strong, thought out, and thoughtful choices. Now, what I'm not is Meisner or Strasberg, Adler, or any of those other wonderful world-renowned techniques that do a deep dive into heavy emotional character work or world development around character and all the other various wonderful, unique approaches that they take. All of that type of work is also vitally important, and I'm a strong believer in working with multiple techniques to see what works best for you. Because sometimes one element from a certain technique works best for you, and then you can take that one and integrate it into other elements from other techniques. All of that work will only enhance what you and I do together. Now, that's not to say that you and I won't work on character and emotion, because we most certainly will. But this is about breaking down material. It's about simplifying the overall process for auditions, developing skills for on-the-spot adjustments, and discovering the variety of actions that human beings engage in order to create a captivating and attention-grabbing performance from beginning to end. My own technique is an amalgamation of what I found to work best from my various acting classes and workshops, elements from Stanislavski, my years behind the casting table working with actors and listening to the creative discussions afterwards, also running countless audition workshops, as well as the foundation of how people learn that I learned via my master's program in teaching.